Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel, and thank you for being here. Whether this is your first time tuning in or you've been following my journey, I'm truly grateful you've chosen to spend some time with me today. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button. We're building something meaningful here, a space for people who are curious, growth-minded, and unafraid to wrestle with big ideas. In this space, we explore books that shape our thinking and deepen our understanding of the world. So, there was a time when I believed that if I had the right information, I'd have the right answers. And for a while, that worked. Until I realized some of the information I trusted most wasn't actually rooted in truth. It was rooted in influence. And that moment changed everything for me. I think many of us have been there. We follow the news, social media, podcasts. We take in more data than ever before, but somehow we feel less certain, less grounded, like we're swimming in opinions and headlines, but starving for clarity. So if you've ever questioned the truth behind the information you're receiving, if you've ever felt overwhelmed by the noise and just wanted a place to slow down and reflect and think clearly, this episode is for you. If you've ever questioned what's true or who to trust, this episode is for you. If you're someone who values wisdom over noise and depth over drama, this episode is for you. Today we're diving into part 1, chapter 1 of Nexus, a brief history of information networks from the Stone Age to AI by Yuval Noah Harari. This book breaks down how the flow of information has defined human evolution, power structures, and even truth itself. And let me tell you, this book didn't just shift how I see history, it shifted how I see everything. You see, information isn't just data, it's power, it's trust, it's the invisible network that has connected humans for tens of thousands of years. And in this episode, we're going to explore how that network, what Harari calls human networks, has shaped the way we seek truth, maintain order, and build societies. Before we go deeper, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Nicholas Walker, and in this podcast, this space, this channel, it's all about growth, reflection, and real conversations inspired by books. See, books are my way in, but the goal here isn't just to review or analyze. It's to build something together, a community of like-minded thinkers and feelers, a tribe of curious minds and courageous hearts. Our mission here is simple: to enlighten, to inspire, and to connect people around ideas that matter. So if you've been craving deeper conversations, the kind that don't just entertain but transform, you're in the right place. Now, why Nexus? Why start with this book? Because it reframes something we often take for granted: information. We live in an age of it. An age of tweets, headlines, podcasts, deepfakes, ChatGPT, conspiracy theories. But Harari takes us back to the beginning. He asks, what even is information? And what does it mean to live in a world defined by it? And for me, personally, this book hits differently. It made me question how I know what I know. It made me look at power structures, governments, religions, media, even schools, and ask, is this telling me the truth, or is it just maintaining order? Nexus became a foundation for how I now understand not only history, but humanity. That's why we're starting here. So, without further ado, let's jump into chapter 1, what is information? And let's begin with a quote from page 6. It says, the naive view of information argues that objects are defined as information in the context of truth-seeking. Something is information if people use it to try to discover the truth. Let's break that down. Harari says, most people assume information is shared with good intention, to uncover the truth. But in reality, is that true? Or is that just a limited and outdated view? Information can serve many purposes: persuasion, manipulation, distraction, and it isn't always about truth. So why does this matter? Because believing that all information equals truth creates a false and often destructive paradigm. It leaves us vulnerable, it limits our compassion, and it kills our curiosity. In today's world, most content isn't created to inform, it's created to engage. And often truth is sacrificed for likes, clicks, and emotional reactions. Let me ask you this personally. When is the last time you searched for information, not to prove your point, but to change it? It's a hard question, even for me, because if we're honest, a lot of what we now call information is really just confirmation. We Google not to discover truth, but to defend our truth. We scroll not to be educated, but to be validated. There is a difference between information and content, but in today's world, the lines are blurry. So let's talk about our relationship with information. We live in an attention economy, and in that economy, truth doesn't always trend. Sensation does. Speed does. Certainty does. Think about how most of us scroll through our feeds. It's not what can I learn, it's what can I like? Who can I cancel? What fits my paradigm? We're not scanning for truth, we're chasing dopamine. One powerful example of this is the climate change conversation. The first book I ever read on climate was How to Avoid a Climate Disaster by Bill Gates. That book gave me clarity. It energized me. Gates laid out what felt like a practical roadmap to net zero emissions, and I was ready to contribute. But then I read Unsettled by Stephen Koonin, and suddenly I had more questions than answers. See, Koonin revealed how climate data gets filtered through layers of interpretation, from scientists to policy reports to media headlines, and by the time it reaches us, it's often distorted and oversimplified. That led me to read the IPCC AR6 report, which for those who don't know, is a comprehensive evaluation of the current state of climate science, assessing knowledge on climate change, its impacts, and its strategies for mitigation and adaptation. And as you can imagine, what I found was far more nuanced than what I had been led to believe. And it reminded me that not all information is truth. And if we want to be intellectually nourished, we have to go deeper. So here's my question for you. What's a belief you're currently rethinking about a major issue like climate change, politics, or health? And what made you pause? And what are you starting to see differently? Drop it in the comments. Let's make this a space where reflection is safe and real. And let's move to the second quote from page 10. So on page 10, it says, "The naive view sees information as an attempt to represent reality. It is aware that some information doesn't represent reality well, but it dismisses this as unfortunate cases of misinformation and disinformation." Here, Harari goes further. It's not just that we assume information is truth. We also assume that when information is wrong, it's just a mistake. But that's a dangerous assumption, because in today's world, misinformation isn't always an accident. Sometimes it's intentional. Sometimes it's profitable. And sometimes it's strategic. And that's a threat to not only truth, but also to trust. You see, democracy requires honest conversations. And we can't have those honest conversations if the media, institutions, and influencers are more interested in manipulation than meaning. During COVID, we saw this unfold in real time. From masks to vaccines to case counts, there were moments when nobody knew who or what to believe. Some voices called the virus fake, others dismissed valid concerns. One week it was, don't wear mask. Next week, wear two. One source said it's airborne, another said it's not. And somewhere in between, people got radicalized by headlines designed to stir emotion, not deliver clarity. Even if you didn't fall for it personally, someone you know probably did. Maybe it was your friend. Maybe it was your coworker. Maybe it was your auntie who swore by a theory that made you pause and ask, how did we get here? That wasn't just a pandemic of illness. It was a pandemic of confusion. And that's why this message matters more than ever before. Because this isn't just about COVID. It's about the kind of world we want to live in. A world built on trust, or one built on distortion. This is why I created this channel, to build a space where we don't just accept what we're told, we investigate it. We challenge it. We learn together. So here's another question that I have for you. During the pandemic, what was something you heard that made you pause and question what you thought you knew? How did you respond, and what did it teach you? Drop your answer in the comments. This is a space, again, where growth is more important than certainty. So that's where we'll close chapter 1. We've unpacked how information isn't always what it seems, how it can be used to seek truth or to shape it, and how being informed isn't just about what we know or what we consume, but why we believe it. But this is just the beginning. In the next chapter, we'll explore something even more powerful than information: stories. Because Harari will show us humans didn't build civilizations on facts alone. We built them on fiction, shared myths that bond tribes, build nations, and moved millions. In the next episode, we'll talk about how those stories still run our world, sometimes for better and sometimes for worse. So with that, thank you for spending this time with me. If this episode made you feel something, made you think, made you question, made you pause, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. And if you want to go even deeper, join us in the Wemo Book Club. You'll find the link in the description. And until next time, stay open, stay grounded, and stay curious.